Hello, I am John, your host on MGTOW is Freedom. And MGTOW, if you're not aware, is men going their own way. Meaning you don't have to suffer under the rules of the game that you didn't choose. You can make your own rules. But, it doesn't seem that that's the way things get played if you really start to look at it. So I've been doing this series called The Problem With. And this particular video is the problem with games. Relationships with women are difficult enough. Relationships with feminists are a fucking nightmare. Nightmare, you guys know. Alright, so let's get down to it, right? Odds of finding a woman, pretty slim. Odds of finding a feminist, they're out there. You're gonna fucking find them. They're everywhere. They're like a fucking disease. They spread. They don't stop. Okay, so, what is it we're talking about? Games. Well, you see a woman, or what you think is a woman, and you make a move, she makes a move, there's a counter move, we go back and forth, and eventually you end up at a point on the board, and I like chess, on the board where someone has to lose a piece. I know this is not a great angle to view the board because I think that I should be in the frame as well as the game. If it's the brown side, it's obvious. Bishop takes queen. Sacrifice the bishop for a bigger piece. You get the bitch, right? You sacrifice a little, you get her. And if it's the other way, that queen will take your piece, put several of yours in jeopardy, and you get nothing in return. You've got to see relationships as a game. There's going to be give and take, but ultimately you want to win. The problem with games is men don't play to win. Men play because they want to fuck the opponent. Men play because they want the opponent to make them look good in public, to get them a sandwich, as a status symbol, a fucking trophy. But what are you willing to pay for that trophy, huh? What's that trophy worth to you? It's a great fucking question. Men make the mistake when they play the game of thinking that you can play as long as you want and then you can put more pieces back on the board. I lost that knight and that rook and fuck, I lost my queen. I don't give a shit. I'm still getting what I want. I'm still getting her pussy. I'm still getting that one, right? And you continue to lose a couple of pawns off this and who gives a fuck, right? You're playing the game. You think that just on meaning the average dipshit male, thinks that when he wakes up, he's going to get all his pieces back. Anytime he wants, he can collect his pieces back off of the board or back onto the board, and that everything will be just fine. That's not how it works. When you play the game with a woman, she will take pieces of yours off the board, never, ever to return them. Even if you're fortunate enough to take a pawn and go all the way to the end, she won't let you put that piece on the board. Let me put it to you this way. Let me go into that a little better. Let's go into that a little better. You're in a position to take her queen, right? And she sees that she's made a move that she shouldn't have. She should have never moved that queen up, or she should have moved it back when you put your bishop in position. She sees that she is at a disadvantage and that she can lose a piece. Now, in the back of her head, she knows that she can put that piece back on the board later because you're a man and all she has to do is give you a blowjob or maybe do a little anal with you or something dirty, right? Maybe let you, never mind, fuck it, I'm not going to go down that road anymore. She knows that she can get that piece back on the board later, whereas she will not give you, the man, any of your pieces back. But rather than even lose that piece, you pick up that bishop to queen, what is she going to do? She's going to start crying. She's going to object to what you're doing. She's going to tell you you can't make that move. And you're like, no, clearly this is a move that's mine. We're playing a game here. It's called relationship. And I see a piece and I'm going to take it. And she will tell you you can't do it. She's going to tell you that it's not very nice, that it's not fair, that only a man would make that move. She's not going to like it a bit. She'll even go so far as to using guilt and shame to quit you from making that move. Are you guys seeing the analogy? This is the board. This is the game. And it's time to start taking pieces off. Somebody in a relationship has to be the boss. Somebody has to be 51% or more. If it's the woman and she's a feminist, you are fucked, because 51% will soon become 66%, then 75, then 80, then 85, to a point where you're breaking, and she'll stop before she breaks you until she's satisfied she has another way out, and then she will fucking break you. It's called divorce. She will do everything she can, back to this, to keep you from taking your piece and taking hers off. And if you do, if you take her queen, right, her ass is now yours. Not only is she going to punish you for doing that today, but she'll punish you the rest of the relationship and remind you about it. Even if you say, oh, geez, I'm sorry, honey, I didn't know it meant that much to you. I didn't know. I had no idea it meant that much to you. Here, let me put that piece back on the board for you. I'm really sorry. Geez. Gee whiz. All right, so this is the game we're playing. This is what you have to look at. If you're going to get into a relationship with a woman, you better realize that it's not just a game. It's played like a game, but it is to the end. It's for keeps. This is real life when you're playing against a feminist. It is not just a game. It is the ownership of the relationship. You may end up on the board with you having 2 pieces and her having 80%. And she'll let you keep those last couple of pieces, knowing that at any time she wants, she can destroy you and take you off of the board. Take you out. Again, divorce. The game is in, right? The game ends. Now, I know you can't see it over here, but I've castled a king and rook, right? The protective status. Men like to think that they've got some sort of protection against a woman in this game that we call relationships. But there's a move on the part of the woman that really isn't part of the original rules of the game. Because the rules not only change as she sees fit, but she uses alternative players. Right? I'm trying to look for some object that would represent the other power. Right? Fuck it. I should have saw this analogy coming, but I didn't. All right, let's go with my this candle. This represents the law, right? The courts, the government, the legislature, the police. This is a giant piece that women bring onto the board when you start taking too many of theirs, or when they feel it's time for the game to end. And if you've got your king behind your little castle, this protective wall of defense, which is no guarantee in the long run, but anytime a woman wants, she can invoke government, and government wipes you off the board. She can say you raped her. She can say you've abused her physically. Oh, interesting picture I just made. Either one of those, here comes the law. Bam, 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 you're under arrest. You will obey her to avoid that. Do men do that? Do men say, fuck, she started abusing me and hitting me with shit? No, men are like, no, knock that off, you stupid wench. Get the fuck away from me with the frying pan. Right? Men do get raped, but they don't run around and scream, rape, 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 every chance they get. Even in a marriage, now women can claim that they were raped, that they were assaulted by their husbands, if they're not happy with the way things go. This piece here, that is a huge Trump piece they put on the board. The government. Understand the game, gentlemen, when you get into it. You better know the moves and counter moves. You better see the end game. And here's the ultimate piece of them all. Women, take their clothes off. You forget all about the game and the rules, and you start making decisions and having thoughts. They start taking your pieces, one by one. You're drunk, you're tired, you just had sex with them, the promise of more sex until there's nothing left but your king. There's nothing left but your king, and then they've got you. Click subscribe, click like, click thumbs up. I'm going to do a lot more of these videos if people continue to enjoy them and get benefit out of them. So this is John saying, you have the penis, I have the penis. Play the game like you mean it. Play it to win. Play it like you're the man. Semper Fi, guys.